Good morning, everybody. Positive Tuesday today, October 5th, 2021. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA, who, Fitzy, I don't know if you noticed, but they're once again in the news. Yesterday, they had just announced that they announced yesterday, it's on our website, DrydenWire.com, that they had received a generous donation from the We Energies Foundation, this is ICAA, to help bring a new mental health program to youth throughout Rusk County. The LEO program is an evidence-based program that focuses on teaching easy-to-use brain hacks to youth to help them increase their mental resiliency. We could use that, I think. The LEO programs have been proven to decrease instances of depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation. You can find out more on the website at DrydenWire.com. That is awesome. It seems like every single time, we usually have a regular plug for them, but they have so many people that are donating. I think that is awesome and all the work that they're doing, so keep that up. ICAA, special thank you to my guest last week, candidate for Wisconsin, Lieutenant Governor Ben Volkel. And on this week, we usually do a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it's going to be on Friday this week. I'll be welcoming back in for the second time candidate for Wisconsin Governor Jonathan Wickman. But of course, today, favorite day of the week, Positive Tuesday. Fitzy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Terrible. How are you?
What?
What?
You behind?
Am I behind?
Yeah.
Shoot, I should make sure that we're actually live here. Are we? Okay, yeah, good. I wasn't even looking at my screen at all.
We
No,
are.
I'm like freaking out, man. Like
What?
I think, it's public knowledge now. She put it on her Facebook page. For a friend of ours, Tammy, she just found out that she has stage 4 lung cancer.
Yep.
Terminal, one of those 12-month kind of things. So it kind of got me thinking, as something like that does. One, it's obviously terrible. Thankfully, her faith has been just outstanding. She's a great person. But yeah, I need to quit. I've been smoking for 25 years. Over a pack a day, probably for 25 years. I mean, I got to stop. So that's it. Last night, took them all, crumpled them up, threw everything away. This morning, freaking out. I've usually had like 9 by now because I get up at 4:30, and I haven't at all. And I've had coffee and caffeine and no cigarettes, but that's it. I put my mind to it. I'm cold turkey, never having another one again, not even having a cigar. I'm out of the nicotine business.
Couldn't you have done that on Wednesday instead of having it on Tuesday? I mean, I'm your support and everything, but
Yeah.
I just want to point out again, since ICAA has been a sponsor for our show, they've gotten all these grants. So I don't know what that says, but I'm just saying.
You're right. Yeah, that is. Yeah, we're not connecting the dots for
every
you.
time they have a press release, it's always on Mondays before our show on Tuesdays. I'm just saying.
Good morning, Kirk and Patty. That's whoopsie. Where'd that go? That's what is dead. Patty. I don't know what that means. Awesome. Thank you. So let's get your weekend. How are things on your end since our last chat on Tuesday? We don't have any press releases to get to today or any stories that we've done. We wanted this to be a Q&A day, right? So while we go through a few of these things, kind of our chit-chat here, we got some trivia questions. But if you have a question, please put that in. We'll get to those as soon as we're finished with some of these things. But again, we really wanted the show to be about that. So how is your last week been going?
How's my last week? I've been busy. It seems like the weekends just go by and fly through and different stuff going on. And we had a hockey golf tournament that I helped put on for our youth hockey program. And so that was a busy Saturday. Then it's sports on Sunday and sports on Friday, and so it's just kind of crazy. It's just, and it's homecoming week in Rice Lake this week, so my son is busy and daughter's busy in school, and so it doesn't seem like the leaves are falling, and the weather's nice though, so we've been able to be outside and do a couple things last night after work, mowed the grass, or got it half done anyway, and picked up leaves and just kind of enjoyed the weather. It's been beautiful weather.
Oh,
So.
right?
Oh,
Been fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love, we always end up talking about sports. You actually, go to events and your kids are actually doing sports. I don't, do sports. I watch sports.
Well, I don't do them either.
Right.
I'm a great fan.
So actually, today's trivia question isn't going to be about sports, by the way. It's about fishing in Wisconsin, because I don't know really anything about that stuff. So, but because
so they're really good at that.
but I do have goods, bad, and ugly from this last weekend in sports. The goods,
Okay.
the Bears won. That's always good. And Justin Fields, thankfully, the head coach, decided to not call the plays, and he gave that to his, wait for it, offensive coordinator, who's supposed to be calling the plays to begin with. And, of course, then Justin Fields looked much better. Granted, you're playing against the Lions, and anyone looks good playing against the Lions. But that was good. If you're a Packers fan, boy, I got a funny feeling Rodgers is either going to get the MVP or they could run the table and go 16-1 after that first loss. They're looking good. They're looking good. So that was another good for Wisconsin. The Vikings lost. That's another good.
Browns.
Right. Now for the bads, Wisconsin Badgers. I'll just leave it there. And the other one is Clemson football. They won against a cupcake team, but they still fell out of the top 25 because they barely beat this team. First time since 2014, Clemson has not been in the top 25. How fast have they fallen?
Right. I
That's
mean,
nuts.
and they start off at 2 or 3 this year?
Probably, as always, yeah.
And then boom, out of the top 25, 4 weeks.
3-4, yeah, I know it.
The Badgers got to get going here. They got to do something.
Yep, they're in trouble. They definitely are. And my ugly, baseball has to get rid of this one-game playoff thing. It is atrocious. It is ridiculous. It is dumb,
No way.
dumb.
There's nothing more exciting than a baseball game that means something tonight.
No, I get it, but you have the National League game. The second best team in baseball, second team with the second best record, 106 wins, second best. The only other team that has more is 107, but they're in their division. You can't have the second best team in baseball playing a one-game to see if they're going to have a series and make it. Any playoff format that doesn't include the second best team is flawed. So they need to get rid of that.
I give you that, but tonight's Boston. I mean, I might even watch that game.
What?
Yankees Boston, and I mean that's going to be talk about a game. Two of the biggest cities in America, and bam, they're going to play each other. And winner goes on, loser goes home. That's what it's about. That's what makes it fun.
It's all about Chris.
I do agree. You make a good point on the team. You can't have,
That's stupid.
a team like
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's dumb. All right, so here is my trivia question today, and anyone else can kind of play along there as well. What is Wisconsin's state fish? A, and I actually had to look up 2 of these because I can only think of 2. But then when I heard them, I'm like, oh, that's right, I've heard of those before. So what is Wisconsin's state fish? A, northern, B, trout, C, muskie, or D, bass? So what is Wisconsin's state fish? A, northern, B, trout, C, muskie, or D, bass? Do you know the answer to that? Or do you want me to, or maybe we'll wait for someone else.
I'm hoping somebody knows the answer to this.
Yeah, and there's like a 10-second delay between when somebody comments before we see it or something. So we'll give that a minute. Why don't you ask your trivia question? I think you had one, didn't you?
Yep, and I want to talk about speed this week because we've gotten a lot of speeding complaints, and so we're going to talk because there's been no press releases that we know of, that I did out, and so wow, everybody's saying muskie. Okay, but speeding. So how much is a speeding ticket? If I get a speeding ticket,
$123.
No, you can't. I got to give you the ticket.
Okay.
This is for 11 to 15 over. So I didn't do the 1 to 10. I did 11 to 15. So 11 miles over the speed limit to 15 miles over the speed limit. You have $125 to $149. You have $150 to $174, $175 to $199, or $200 to $225. So.
Can you tell me how much it is for the 10 and under?
No.
What? How about 16 and over?
It would be more than that.
Well, you're not trying to make us lose. All right, let's go back to. Well, I'm thinking about that for a second. If anybody knows, so 120. So it's 11 to 15 over.
They're like, yeah, I got one last week.
Yeah, someone please tell me you've gotten a ticket. I mean, you know.
How much was it?
Yep. So what do you want to go with? What is Wisconsin's state fish? Northern trout, muskie, or bass?
I'm gonna go with muskie because 2 people said it.
You are correct. The muskie
sweet.
was wait. So we had 9. So that's 12. We're up to 12 now. The muskie was recommended as a state fish because of the dominance of Wisconsin muskies in competition over the years. The trout was also suggested, but failed to pass because it wasn't nearly as popular as the muskie. I mean, everybody wants to be friends with the muskie. So popular. Legislation tried to pass it in 1939 after a spirited debate whether we should even have a state fish. That's interesting. I'd like to see that debate on the state fish. Failed again in 1941. Finally, in 1955, the muskie was proclaimed the state fish without one vote against it. The dedication ceremony was held in June 1955 at National Muskie Festival in Hayward. So there you go.
I would agree. And that's what somebody put, the giant one in Hayward. I was leaning that way, but I was going, maybe it's northern and they're just more muskies up north. I'm not a fisherman.
Neither am I.
But yeah, the giant one in Hayward. And Allie must like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I was noticed that too. Or is that maybe like a local team? You know,
That must be a local team.
Yeah,
gotta be a local.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's not.
Sorry, I'm eating some beef jerky. I need something, keep my mouth busy and my hands busy because I can't have, cigarettes.
Well, we're with you. We're supporting you today.
Thank you. Like, no kidding. This is going to be, it's actually going to be easy. No problem. Cold turkey. 25 years of at least a pack a day. That's enough. And I'll be able to do this. I just got to get through the show.
On the next day.
All right. So your trivia question was about the 11 to 15 miles and over speeding, 125 to 145. I honestly have no clue. So remove one of them. And if I have a preference, remove one of the either B or C if I have a preference. Or if you'll give me
I'm going to I'll remove A and B.
Oh, A and B?
Yeah.
159 to 220. I feel like it's C. Does anyone have any? Okay, so 11 to 15 overs, 175 to 199, or 200 to 225.
Yep.
I don't want to get it wrong.
Well, maybe someone will guess. Hey, it was DrydenWire's birthday this weekend, huh?
Oh, yeah, last Friday. Yeah, our 6th birthday. We had a whole bunch of nice comments and, of course, a nice, wonderful troll. I guess something about 666 and I'm the beast. Something was just fantastic. I mean, you can't really have a post on Facebook unless there's a troll. Just loved it. I mean,
you don't know you're making a difference in the world unless there's a troll. I would agree with that. So, I mean, you've made a difference in the world if you've got hate mail. So,
yeah, exactly. That's how you know. My mom asked me, "How did you know that DrydenWire you made it?" I'm like, trolls, hate mail. That's when you know. All right, people are listening.
That's right. I see our show got some positive comments. So.
Yeah, and that was really great. And a lot of those comments I had asked in our 6th birthday announcement thing, just to put in something nice or what they appreciate about DrydenWire, and a lot of them were Ben and Fitzy show, including Chris Fitzgerald. My favorite part is of DrydenWire. It's the Ben and Fitzy show.
It is. It's fun to do. I mean, I'm just glad people do like it, and we do try to get some information out there to people that that maybe they don't have a way to get it. And I do truly think, whether we have trolls or not, I truly think you're fair. I mean, I know people think that you're one-sided this or one-sided that. It's not right, but it's a small population, and we got to quit listening to the minority and listen to the majority. And we do a good job with that. If they don't like it, they don't have to watch.
That's right.
But we want to get some information to people, and that's why we're talking about.
Like Batman and Robin. That's what you call it. So we're going to go with D. That's what I'm doing. What you did, Bridget.
Listen to the people.
Yeah, and Bobby Joe said I'm guessing D. Sean said D. So Sean, when he just says D. See, when other people say I'm guessing or I hope, I'm not going to weigh that one very much. But Sean will just D. So D. That seems matter-of-factly to me. Right. We're going with D.
Sean's right. D.
Outstanding. Good job, everyone.
It's $200.50, so it's really close. So,
wow.
But it's $200 plus 4 points off your driver's license. So, and if you get another speeding ticket in the year time from that, it goes up to almost $264. So, We've got to do something with speeding. I don't have the answer for speeding right now. That is our biggest problem right now. We get traffic complaints every single day of the week on speeding. Even my neighbor complained last night on my little road in the City Race Lake that the cars were going fast, and they were. And so it's just we've got to do something with speed. People have got to slow down. It's just
For everyone that is listening right now, put in if you feel comfortable doing so. I mean, it's already over with. Put down how many speeding tickets you've ever had in your life. So if you've never had any, just type in a 0. 3, then do 3. Doesn't just since you have had your driver's license. Chris, how many have you had in your life?
I've had one ticket.
One speeding ticket.
Yeah. So
that must have been before you became a cop.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah, like Dad when he was still a sheriff, and I can say this now because he's retired in his vehicle, but he's just like 85 everywhere. Like, who's gonna pull over a vehicle that just has like 12 antennas on it?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's clearly law enforcement.
When your dad was the sheriff, the squad car was everywhere. So
yeah.
They're coming over 10 miles down the road.
So it looks like we've got some 0s, 3 1s. Bobby Joe, 2. Is it a question? Maybe 2.
That's a long time.
So I've never had one.
And it's just, I don't know what it is recently. I don't know if it's the internet or if it's cell phones or what it is, but there's been so much speed and just kind of reckless driving, and we've got to just do a better job of that. And so it's, I don't know what to do. And the speeds are usually they're 1 to 10 over, but they've been a lot. They've been heavy speeds, and like 80 and a 55 and
what?
things like that. Yeah. So I mean, it's just there's some high speeds out there, and there's some speeds on some city streets. There's some speeds on some rural roads where there's a lot of curves and a lot of houses, and a lot of people are walking. I mean, the weather is so perfect. We've just got to do a better job of doing that. So our troops are out looking and monitoring speed right now. The call volume usually in the fall drops a little bit. There isn't as many calls for service, so then we do a lot of stuff out there. We do a lot of stuff out there trying to do the enforcement. So
you don't really know why. I mean, this is just for a while there we had this whole meth thing, and now it's like speeding. I mean, did this just all of a sudden kind of come out of nowhere, or
no? I don't think it came out of nowhere. I just think well, I don't know. We seem to be getting a lot of complaints, and it's maybe because we become.
Is that hold on? Is Dan Fitzgerald related to you by chance?
Yeah.
There's no picture on this for some reason, so I couldn't see.
Oh, yes. Oh. I don't know why. Yeah. My dad's having surgery on his knees, getting his knee replaced this week. So,
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. Just before that went away, I wanted to ask if you're related.
So, yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he was a cop. He was a sheriff's deputy for 33 years, part-time.
Well, he's gotten a speeding ticket too. So, I'm sorry. Where were you?
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I wasn't listening either, so don't worry.
Like
nobody's even listening anyway. No, whatever. Oh, right. But speeding. I think it's one of those. I'm just going to guess here that if you're seeing someone interstate, the speed limit is 70 or 60. We'll say 65. That's more common. Okay, fine. Well, Barron, 70 miles an hour. If someone's doing 76, so that's or 75, and gorgeous day, not weaving in and out of traffic, not doing it. That's kind of the flow of everything. I think most times law enforcement's just gonna. That's fine, right? Go right ahead. You're doing 6, maybe 7 over. But if you're on the interstate, and everything is fine, just cruising along. But now you take that same number or a percentage over a speeding limit and you throw that into like town when it's 25, and now you're doing a 32. Do you kind of look at that and take that a little bit more seriously? Because, I mean, I don't know why. Going fast, the faster you go, the more likely if you get in a crash, people are going to die or get severely hurt. But do you kind of look at enforcement of the speeding laws in residential more, or is it kind of equal?
Well, I think it's equal, but I also think you make a good point. I think it's based on traffic volume. If it's Main Street in the city of Rice Lake at noon and you're driving, 35 and a 25, I think you're probably going to get pulled over more than if it was no one on the road and you were doing 35 and a 25. Because, if you meet 10 cars and the first 10 cars you're out running radar and the first 10 cars are doing 6 over and then the 11th car is doing 11 over, it's like, just go. Can you go 7 over and not get pulled over? Probably. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee you that, but probably. But again, it depends on traffic conditions.
Can I?
Can I?
Can I
go 7 over?
You got a note from the sheriff.
I won't promise nothing. I mean, but 7 overs probably it's not good, but it's probably okay. I mean, but you can. The ticket starts at. I'm just going to get my book out here.
It starts at 1, doesn't it? 1. If you're 1 mile over.
1 to 10 is 187.90.
I don't know. I feel like that's. I mean, come on, 1 mile an hour over.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I've never seen it. So I mean, it's just that the law has to state that because technically that's what the sign says. 55 is 55, and after that it goes up. So. But we just got to do a better job on that, and we're doing some traffic enforcement out there, and so we just want to make sure everybody is the weather. The sun comes out, and the weather, the windows down, the sun's out. I'm driving from Barron to Rice Lake home. You just sometimes you don't pay attention. That's what cruise control's for. Lock it in at 57, whatever, and just go and just relax and enjoy the nice weather. Nice weather has an impact on speed because people are out just enjoying it and they're like, oh, that sun's beating on me. It feels so good or whatever. So it does make a difference.
Well, they're going to be in for a rude awakening when it snows. Hopefully we don't see a lot of snow. That first snow, everyone just forgets completely how to drive.
Well, we'll talk about that when it gets to be.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be talking about that for a while. Hey, I forgot. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Someone sent me an email. You had referenced this person, I think, last week's show. You had a mea culpa from the previous week's show about getting a note about marijuana, right?
Right.
Yeah. So this is from Dan Erickson. I think that's who you were referring to, right? Or maybe not.
It was who I was referring to.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dan Erickson sent the email, and he had this question that he wanted me to ask you. What is the leading cause of death in the line of duty for law enforcement officers in 2020 and 2021? The leading cause of death in the line of duty for law enforcement officers in 2020 and 2021. I don't know that answer.
I do because he asked me that the other day at our meeting, and when we were talking about marijuana, and then we got into some other discussions about COVID.
Is it marijuana?
Yeah, no,
that can't be right. That can't be right. COVID. Okay. Wait, COVID is?
COVID is the leading cause of law enforcement deaths in 2020.
It was in Wisconsin. Nationwide?
I don't know the answer to that. It might be.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's just there's it's an active duty because you can contract it while you're working, so that's why they consider it an active duty death in some cases. And luckily that's a bad thing, but that means we're not getting shot at and we're not crashing our cars. And the leading cause is usually traffic accidents to some degree because of the speeds and the things that we have to do to get to calls. And it's no use getting to a call and crashing. So we try not to do 150 miles an hour to go to a call. We don't do 150, but even 100 is fast. You just try not to do 100 miles an hour. It's just, we need to get to the call to help people. And so we try, we got to get to the call safely. So even if it takes us 5 more seconds to get to the call by going, 5 miles an hour slower, whatever the answer is, the math is on that. So that's what we do. But yeah, COVID is a leading cause in 2020 of law enforcement duty deaths.
Do you know how many?
No, I don't.
That just surprised. I don't know. Like, what's number 2?
I would guess traffic accidents. I don't think it's gunfire. It could be gunfire. It could be officers killed in the line of duty.
Sure.
So it's accidents or gunfire, one of the two.
I see. And by the way, if anyone has a question, please, we're just kind of rambling on here. I mean, hopefully about some good things, and
Right.
we all learned something. But if you have a question about anything, please put that in the comments and let us know. So speaking of COVID,
Right.
is there, I've seen when I do the bi-weekly updates on our website anyway, Mondays and Fridays, all the 6 counties, and you see this Delta variant going up, getting closer to where that surge was initially, about almost a year ago now, in October, November of last year when we really saw that big surge. So a lot of them are getting closer, each county a little bit, it's kind of almost getting up to that level, that peak as it was. But I'm seeing and hearing on the news that it seems to kind of be going, just recently, they're starting to see it slowly go down. I don't know if that's really in our area yet, but in Barron County, from the people that you talk to, because you talk to these people all the time, where is Barron County in terms of COVID? What is the state of COVID in Barron County?
I think it's gone down. I mean, we did have a I don't want to call it a COVID meeting, but we had a meeting yesterday just to talk about a couple items out there. We're having a booster shot clinic on next Wednesday at Barron Electric. So anybody and there's some certain rules, and go to our public health page and look at that. But there's a booster clinic. So if you've had your COVID shot and it was over 6 months ago, you're eligible for a booster. You can drive up, first come, first serve, get your booster shot on the 13th right here in Barron at Barron Electric. They're a partner with this and helping us to have a drive-in clinic. So you drive in, get a shot, wait 15 minutes, and away you go. You have your booster shot. So, but our cases went down 80 cases over last week. So that's great, because they were going up about 80 every week. They went boom, 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 boom. It really went up high. And so I'm very happy with that. I think everybody's doing their role. Our schools are doing a good job.
These poor schools. Seriously, these poor every school. That's what I mean. The board. And I was telling someone, actually, it was my mother-in-law last night, Drusha's mom, Cynthia. We were talking, and I said I kind of feel like schools vis-a-vis COVID and school boards and what they do, because there's no right answer here, right? And this is like the new Donald Trump. The topic of everybody has a incredibly strong opinion on one side or the other. There really isn't I don't know, kind of in the middle. There just really isn't one of those opinions. And the school board, so we have to think of liability and the protection of the district, and there's in the safety of our students. That's pretty much it, right? Everything else, I'm sorry if you got kids or your job, it's going to be tough for you to have them if we close down for a while. I mean, that's a tough spot to be in anyway. I feel so badly. Like, I'm not for or against any of this stuff. I'm actually probably you and I are probably on the same page on this. I can see both sides, and I get it. I'll just trust that they're going to make the best decision that they think, and we just go from there. And sometimes I think school districts are going to make a different decision than another one. Ideally, I'd like to kind of see it all about the same, but that's a tough gig right now, as being on the school boards. Before we used to talk about the superintendents. Now we're talking about the school boards. Ugh. I would not want to be. Yes, you're on one of these boards, aren't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on.
Because you're on every board. You and Dave Wilson. Yeah. There we go.
Dave Wilson.
We got it in.
Well, good.
Oh, I would not want to be on those boards.
And I don't mind. I'm elected, so I understand what an elected official gets. I don't mind the trolls of the world, but be nice. I mean, it's so you just can't be mean. You can say I disagree all day long, but you don't have to be terrible about it, and you don't have to be angry about it. And you can unelect the person. You can go to and do public comment and a lot of different things. But we can't be mean about it. I mean, that's just terrible. I mean, I just feel bad for school.
It can't be personal.
Right.
Adam Jarko talks about that I can't wait for these, when we get closer to it. And Evers and Rebecca Clayfish. Right. I think we were talking about it kind of has already gotten a little personal, finding some picture when she was younger, just like, I don't know, at a modeling place or something like that, or a pageant. And it's like, that's dumb. Like, don't make it personal. But when it comes to the politics part of it, go after each other all day long. You can argue the merits of something. That's fine. Just don't make it personal. And if you can, don't state your opinion as a fact. That'd be great. It's your opinion. It's not a fact. Just because it comes out your mouth don't mean it's a fact. But if people can just do
Yeah,
that, that'd be great.
and and there's a lot of studies out there both ways, and so yeah, I just feel bad for school board officials. I feel bad for public health. I mean, I don't. Public health is trying to do their job. They're not out there just saying, hey, you know what, we should just mess with people's lives today. Let's make everybody have to do this: wear a mask, get a shot, walk backwards, whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, you can't. They're doing their jobs. County boards are, and I'm very happy people are paying attention. No
Yeah.
one is, like we've talked about before. No one used to go to these meetings, and now people are going to the meetings. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll realize there's more to school districts than just this issue, and that there's money being spent on whatever. And
Hmm.
our teachers need to do this, or our teachers need more money, or whatever comes out of this. I hope there's some good that comes out of this too, and people are paying
I think there
attention.
is. There
But
will
it's
be.
not all about that. And I think so too. I
Yeah.
agree. I think there will be, and that's great. Get involved, run,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of these people on county boards and school boards only run because no one's running against them, and they're like, well, someone's got to do it,
Yeah,
so I
that's
guess
right.
I'll do it.
That's right. We can't give away positions pretty much for Washburn County board supervisors.
Right.
First of all, we have 21. That's way
Right.
too many for
We
a
have
county of
29.
15,000 people. What?
Right. We have 29.
Well, 29,
But
and
we're
you're
triple
3
your
times
size.
the size of us.
Right.
So that
Good
would
point.
mean if that was prorated, then you would have 60. Wait, 20, 40, 63. It's way too
point.
freaking many board supervisors, but that's just whatever. That should be
Dave
like
Wilson
11
can make
tops
that change.
15. What's that?
Dave Wilson can make that change.
Yeah, they got to wait for I don't know what they're waiting for, but they really should. But I don't know who's going to actually vote to vote yourself out of a job. All right, so maybe that won't happen. But yeah, that is a great and a positive thing, because city councils, school boards, board supervisors, man, that's where it happens. And actually, on here, this is Kirk Anderson. He did give some stats right there. That must be for that lawn. From dying, so 19 to 245, gunfire 45, automobile crash 19. But speaking of, Kirk Anderson is the mayor in St. Croix Falls.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
He does a great job. I mean,
Yeah, he
talk
does.
about an active person in the community, getting information out to people. I mean, that guy is on top of it.
Yep, he is. He's outstanding, outstanding man.
Now we'll have to get a dinger for him every time we say Kirk Anderson. Now we have to get
boy. Well, he was kind of a part of law enforcement for a while. No, not law. Firefighter.
He's a firefighter.
Yeah. All right.
and
We'll have to find
volunteer
something. Yeah. Whatever. Hey, did you see? Since we didn't have any other questions, I did write down just a couple things I want to quick see if you had seen. That was where to go. Oh, speaking of Facebook.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awesome?
So on Sunday night, 60 Minutes, the whistleblower comes out and says all these things about Facebook, and they're terrible, and what they're doing is creating division, all this stuff. Well, then I don't know. Then the next day, yesterday at 10:30ish or so, pretty much until like 6 last night, worldwide, Facebook goes down. Messenger, and including Instagram, WhatsApp, and a whole bunch of others had some issues like T-Mobile. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but it's kind of interesting, right? They do a 60-minute show of the whistleblower on Sunday night, and then it's all over the news. Everyone's talking about Monday morning. Yeah, Facebook's bad. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I hate Facebook too. Oh, yeah, Facebook's horrible. I kind of feel like Zuckerberg was just sitting there going, you know what? Screw it. Click, just turns off, just unplugs Facebook.
He's got a button on his desk. That
Of
just
course
goes,
he
boom.
does. Right, just to say, fine, let's see now. And all of a sudden people are going, well, oh no, I can't get on there. It's like, yeah, not so bad now, am I? I'm just saying. That's what I would have done. So, I don't know. Do you see a connection there?
I just want to see his desk, and I want to see this button. He flips open this glass case, break here in case of emergency, and he hits the button. It's just interesting.
Is it a
Because,
big
yes,
button?
I agree.
Is it a little button? Is it a switch? And is it a big switch, or maybe a
It's
series
gotta
of
be
little
red
switches?
flashing. One of them you hit with your fist.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, like the nuclear weapon things you see on movies. And the other thing, actually, you were the one who actually sent this to me or messaged me yesterday and asked me if I had seen it, and I hadn't yet. And I just put it up this morning that Ryan Owens, who a Republican candidate running for Wisconsin Attorney General, he dropped out of the race already. I'm like, I just had him on the 24th, so like a week and a half ago, and I'm wondering if this is like the new Madden curse. Madden football, when they put a sports athlete on the cover, that's usually like one of the best players from the year before, and they either have a terrible year or they get hurt. So it's become this Madden curse. Like, you don't want to be, as a NFL player, you don't want to be on the cover of Madden football video game. So I'm wondering if,
Probably not, since we've
well,
had
I'm
a
just
lot
saying,
of
if you're running and you're on the show more than anybody, we literally have a show with just you and I. So,
I'm running, and I'm gonna win.
well, good morning, Ben. You missed it. This was a show all about Q&A, and now it's over. He always jumps in.
That's right. We talked about marijuana for a half hour, Ben. You're out. No.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Ben. We didn't. But no,
Yeah.
I think that the Facebook thing is really interesting to me. I just think, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy too, but I think that was interesting. And I just wonder what people did. And they realized, oh my gosh, the sun is out today. There's some people that are so, it's that addiction. I mean, you understand, you quit smoking and now you're.
Well, I'm quitting. And I'm, like, as the show's going on, I'm getting more and more just like freaking out even more. It's really bizarre. I should document all of this, my whole experience of quitting smoking.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's probably been done, but we can do it. We'll do it on the show this Tuesday.
What a jerk. I'm pretty sure it's already been done, but hey, go for it, buddy.
I'm sure it hasn't been done on, on some local DrydenWire.
Yeah, but the Facebook, and I get it.
Right.
It is interesting. Someone asked me or sent me a text yesterday saying, hey, did you know that Facebook is down? I'm like, yeah, we put it up. Like, where? On Facebook? Like, no, on our website. Like, our website is now becoming like a newspaper.
Right.
Like, nobody really reads them anymore. You go, and it's, well, okay, we have our website, and that's where we put it. We put the announcement that Facebook's down, Instagram down, all this stuff. And like, well, where is it? It's not on Facebook. Like, well, because Facebook's down. Like, we have a website. Just go there. That's where we post all of our stories. People forgot how to even do that.
If I would have had a press release, I don't know how I would have. I mean, I send it out to the media, and you guys would all put it on your website. But people are so used to getting their information from Facebook. It was just interesting, and I'm glad it happened. I think it was important for people to see that there's something else out there besides Facebook, and the goods and bads of Facebook, and people got to realize that's where I get my information from. And Facebook is so good and so bad in the law enforcement world because there's so many people that threaten people on it and do dumb things on it. I mean, it's just like anything, and we have to stop that, and we have to just do it for the good. We keep saying the little things make a big difference, and it's just those little things that people do and that you try to do for the general public that we have to appreciate a little bit more. And I think you get a little appreciation from that.
Yeah. On these, sorry, I was having issues. Something in the corner of my screen keeps showing up. Ben, nice. See? All right, maybe you got me on board now, Ben. Oh, yeah. If you know a guy, Wait a minute, that's still illegal. So never mind.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of wrap it up here with this Facebook topic, and that is, you and I have talked about it even earlier in the show. We were talking about our 6th birthday, DrydenWire's last Friday, and some of the comments, and there's always some trolls, etc. But there is that mental health aspect of it. You probably get, I don't know how many messages you get or things that you see, emails, hate stuff, negativity. We were talking about that a little bit, where people just need to, make your point, have a discussion, have an argument. That's perfectly fine. Don't make it personal. Don't state your opinion as a fact. And it's okay when you're finished to agree to disagree. I don't want to see these, again, before it was like Trump signs, and then all of a sudden neighbors were just hating each other after 40 years. I kind of feel like we're kind of heading in that direction in a lot of other ways. But from a leadership position that you are in, how do you mentally, how do you process that? How do you keep from you're already in a position in a world that you see some of the worst. You see people at their worst, right? Just because that's your job in law enforcement. But now you're getting all of this stuff sent to you, and most of your officers don't see this stuff. It's sent to you, and that's part of your job, right? Heavy lies the head that wears the crown. That's part of your gig. But how do you not start freaking out? How do you not let that mentally drain you and impact you?
Well, I think it does. I think it does impact me, and I think you just have to. That's why we created this show. There was so much negativity when we said we got to do something, Ben, to make people's lives, just to let them smile or laugh or do something, because this COVID a year and a half ago was we had never experienced anything like that. And I think, and we see that in elections, and I'm worried about that with the next presidential, even the governor election that we'll see next year here in Wisconsin. I mean, I think it's okay to have, there's two sides to everything, and you've got to come together, and the winner wins, and you got to support the winner. But that's where, people give me ideas all the time. And some ideas I can take and do something with, and some ideas I can say, yeah, that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm just not going to be able to have our SWAT team go and, go and knock down people's doors and arrest all these drug dealers, even though we know where there are. I mean, there's some rules and laws that we have to follow. So I think it's important to, like you said, agree to disagree, but stay friends. I mean, it's just, we've got to get rid of these R's and the D's and all this other things and just become one. I mean, there can be two sides to everything, and it works out. I mean, I go back to Romaine. Romaine was Republican. I didn't agree with everything. He didn't agree with everything, but we made some things happen. And that's what you got to do, is you got to just go make things happen.
Yeah.
And you find a middle ground and you do it, and you got to have a little fun while doing it. And that's what we do. I have a little fun being the sheriff, and we have a little fun getting the message out to people. But when it's time to get the job done, we get the job done here in Barron County, and all the law enforcement in Northwest Wisconsin does do what they can, because we do see the worst in people, and I think that's important. And you just got to keep moving through it, and that's, again, why we created this. It's an outlet for people. Maybe it's just a smile on your day. Maybe it's just, getting some new information that you never thought of, and that's what we do with this show.
Yeah, it's easily my favorite day. I love doing these for that as well. I get some negative things sent our way from time to time. Apparently not everybody likes DrydenWire. How bizarre. But this is, I didn't realize until you said it, this is kind of one of my outlets. And actually, since I've been talking about, today's my first day of quitting smoking, my cigarette volume has increased over the last 6 years. It used to be about, that's why I said I smoked about a pack and a half a day or so for 25 years. In the last year, I probably smoked 2 packs a day. I'm just always, and I don't know if that's a direct tie to it, but I've gained more weight, eat worse, I smoke more, and I think it's some of that negativity and just being on social media, because that's part of my job. If it wasn't for DrydenWire, I would never be on social media. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't even go. But we have to, because of DrydenWire. But maybe that was kind of my outlet. But I think this has been so great. At least for me, it certainly has. Gives something to look forward to. It's something positive and something I can, be excited about. And it doesn't even matter. Like today, we didn't even have, articles or press or things to really talk about. It was just nice talking. And it was nice seeing people that were commenting on here. And it just, I don't know, it made me feel good. So thanks, obviously, for Fitzy for always doing this. And for everybody else, hopefully we can put, a smile on someone's face, or if they learned something, great. I don't know if anyone learned anything today, except it's $200.50 for a speeding ticket, 11 to 15 over. And the state fish in Wisconsin is a muskie. But other than that, I don't know if they really learned anything.
But I also think it's the bad part about Facebook is most of these trolls are using fake names, they're using fake, and they just change when they get blocked. And I think that's chicken. And I think that's not good. And how am I supposed to take you seriously if I get if you make up some name and start sending me messages? Well, if you're not, if you're a taxpayer in Barron County, that's my job to listen to you. I don't have to agree with you, and I don't have to do what you tell me, but I will listen to you and your side of it, and maybe we can make a change or do something a little bit different. But you can't just come out with a fake name and just start saying you suck. I mean, that's just not how it works. It's just, it doesn't, you can do that, but you're not going to get taken seriously. How am I supposed to take it seriously when you got some
no
fake
kidding.
name?
Nut up, right?
I don't know if you're from Indiana or if you're from Barron County. It doesn't, I don't know.
Right.
Nothing against Indiana people. Now I get quoted.
No, I'm gonna make some fake accounts, start sending you messages. I'm gonna test you, see how you respond to certain things. I'm not gonna do that. And please, anyone listening, don't do that. All right, what are your plans coming up? We'll have a show next week. I think, we're on next Tuesday before we take a week off.
I think I'll be at a remote location because I think I'm at a training next week, but I've worked it out where I can leave for the half hour to get the show in. So I'll be at a training next week, but I'll be able to get her done. So I was going to have to cancel, but I looked at the schedule and I'll be able to.
You're going to make it
happen.
Able to fit
it in. So yeah, because we got to do
the
it.
Show. Yeah, that's right. Besides, who's going to tell us?
There's something to that. It's something about the routine, and I agree. I look forward to them too.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see, and Bobby Joe only speeds when she's not in Barron County. So thanks, Bobby. I appreciate that. See, that's the kind of viewers, and that's the kind of respect that we want our law enforcement to have. You know what? I speed when I get to Washburn County because they're we're never speeding Barron County.
And Ben, sorry, buddy, we're out of time here. Again, you always put the question in like right at the end when you have something there. You got something yourself. Oh, sure, yeah. Reduce harm. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're the answer to all your questions, Ben. We know.
Yep. Yeah.
That's our goal. Maybe that should be the back of our T-shirts. Ben and Fitzy.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot all about those. I gotta get those done. I'm sorry. So you're gonna be at the meeting. That's what I heard. Yeah, but you're still gonna do the show, right. Which again, I can't thank you enough for doing that. I in a weird way, I think it's nice having that one Tuesday off that we do, especially for Mom, so she can do her Diane's Kitchen shows. But boy, I kind of wish that we almost did it every Tuesday just for the routine. Like no one have to think, wait, are they on this or is this the Tuesday off?
Well, we can go back to that.
I don't know. That's just a lot. And next year's an election year for you. I'm sure you're going to be out. Well, I don't know if you have to. I don't think you're probably going to be doing nearly as much, especially if no one's going to run against you.
I hope not. Yeah. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah, we should. If they do, we should have them on the show. Maybe not. Maybe we don't do that. So with the kids being home because they were close contact, for like 2 weeks, that was right in the middle of my wife's and my anniversary. So we didn't want to go away, obviously, even though nobody had COVID. They're all tested, they're all negative, but they still had to stay home. So we're actually going to think of going away this weekend, which is perfect because my granddaughter turns 5 this Saturday. So there's a little party down in Dunn County, Menominee, where my daughter lives, she, her husband, and her 2 kids. So going to go to her 5th birthday, my granddaughter Bentley. And then Drew and I are going to go to a hotel with a hot tub in it. No comment. Don't say anything. There's no good answer to that.
Yes, let's end the show there. I'd rather talk to Ben than
let's talk about pot. Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Thanks, man. We'll see you next week. You've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA. ICAA is your local social service organization that works together with individuals, families, and the community to create and support local solutions for local needs. For a full list of services, check them out on their Facebook page or just go right to their website at indianheadcaa.org. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, and as always, have a blessed day.